Stop everything you're doing right now. What you're about to hear will completely shatter everything you thought you knew about solo female travel. Did you know that a Canadian woman rode a motorcycle alone into Pakistan, a country the Western media calls dangerous? And what she found there was so powerful, it changed her entire life forever? We're talking about Rosie Gabriel, a solo female adventurer who traveled to 50-plus countries, faced every kind of challenge imaginable, and thought she'd seen everything. But Pakistan did something no other destination could do. It didn't just give her beautiful photos or travel stories. It gave her a completely new identity. She arrived as Rosie the adventure vlogger and left as a Muslim. The Instagram post announcing her conversion got 85,000 likes overnight. How is that even possible? What could happen in one country that changes everything? Can you even imagine this level of courage? Rosie Gabriel arrived in Pakistan in 2019 with nothing but her motorcycle and curiosity. No tour group, no security, no male companion. Just one woman on two wheels exploring a country Western media told her was terrifying. The world said she was crazy. Her friends probably thought she had a death wish. Critics predicted she'd be robbed, kidnapped, or worse. But here's what's absolutely insane. She found the complete opposite of what everyone warned her about. She discovered hospitality so genuine it made her question everything. She experienced kindness so overwhelming it brought her to tears. She encountered people so peaceful, despite hardships, that it shook her understanding of happiness. What was she expecting versus what she actually found? The contrast was mind-blowing. Listen to this journey and try not to get chills. Rosie didn't just visit Lahore and call it a day. She rode through Lahore, Swat, Multan, Gwadar, and beyond. She covered regions tourists never see. She went to places travel agencies won't touch. She met people living in conditions that would break most Westerners. But here's what destroyed her expectations. Everywhere she went, people welcomed her like family. Strangers invited her into their homes. Families shared their meals. Communities protected her like their own daughter. She was expecting danger but found safety. She was prepared for hostility but received love. Every mile on that motorcycle was bringing her closer to a truth she didn't know she was searching for. What was happening to her heart during these encounters? But wait, this story has a twist that makes it even more powerful. The year before Rosie's conversion was the hardest year of her entire life. She faced challenges that nearly broke her, personal struggles that left her searching for meaning. Life threw everything at her that could destroy a person's spirit. Most people would have quit traveling. Most would have gone home. Most would have given up. But Rosie kept riding. And during her darkest moments in Pakistan, something incredible started happening. The very country everyone said would harm her became the place that healed her. The journey that was supposed to be about adventure became about spiritual awakening. How did a country transform from a travel destination into a place of divine discovery? Prepare yourself for the most viral moment in travel vlogger history. When Rosie Gabriel posted her conversion announcement on Instagram, the internet exploded like never before. 85,000 likes flooded in overnight. The comment section went absolutely nuclear. Muslims from around the world were celebrating. Travel bloggers were shocked. Western media couldn't believe it. Pakistanis were crying with joy. The post became one of the most liked conversion announcements in social media history. But here's what made it so powerful. Rosie's caption was raw, honest, and vulnerable. She talked about her struggles. She admitted her journey. She shared her transformation. The authenticity was so real that even critics couldn't question her sincerity. What did she write that resonated with millions? Now this statement will blow your mind. Rosie said something so profound, it changed how people view conversion. She stated, "For me, I was already technically a Muslim. My Shahada was basically a rededication of my life to the path of oneness, connection, and peace through the devotion of God." What? She was already Muslim before becoming Muslim? How does that work? This wasn't about changing religions. It was about recognizing what her soul had always known. Her childhood connection with creation. Her special relationship with God. Her natural inclination towards submission to the divine. Islam didn't change her, it named what she'd always felt. This perspective revolutionized how millions viewed conversion. It wasn't about rejecting your past. It was about completing your spiritual journey. December 2019 wasn't just another travel month for Rosie. It was the month her entire life transformed. While traveling through Pakistan during that period, she experienced what she called a spiritual renaissance. But what does that even mean? It means everything she thought she knew about herself was being rewritten. Her understanding of happiness was being challenged. Her concept of success was being redefined. Her relationship with God was being deepened. Every day in Pakistan was peeling back layers of conditioning, revealing truths she'd been searching for her entire life. The landscapes were beautiful, but the spiritual landscapes she was discovering were breathtaking. What specific moments triggered this renaissance? What conversations changed everything? Listen to what Rosie said about Islam, and prepare to have your perspective shifted. She described Islam as the life of humanity, humility, and love. Think about those three words. Humanity, recognizing the value of every human being. Humility, understanding our place before God. Love, the foundation of all relationships. These weren't abstract concepts she read in books. She saw them lived by ordinary Pakistanis. Poor families sharing their last meal with a stranger. People with nothing offering everything. Communities caring for each other with love Western individualism had forgotten. The contrast between what she'd been told about Islam versus what she experienced was staggering. How did witnessing these values in action convince her more than any theological argument could? Here's the ultimate irony that will make you question everything you've been told. Rosie Gabrielle, a solo female traveler who visited 50-plus countries, found her safest, most welcoming destination in the country Western media portrays as dangerous for women. Pakistan, the same country travel advisories warn against. The same country people say is hostile to Western women. Rosie experienced the opposite. She was protected, respected, honored, treated with dignity she hadn't experienced in supposedly progressive countries. Pakistani families watched over her like their own daughter. Communities ensured her safety without being asked. The irony was so powerful it exposed the lies Western media spreads about Muslim-majority countries. What does this say about our biased perceptions? Every mile Rosie rode on that motorcycle through Pakistan was simultaneously a mile inward. While her wheels covered physical terrain, her soul was covering spiritual ground. The mountain passes weren't just geographic, they were metaphorical. Every village she entered opened new chambers of her heart. Every conversation with locals removed another veil from her understanding. The motorcycle that carried her body was paralleling the spiritual journey carrying her soul toward Islam. By the time she reached her physical destinations, she'd reached her spiritual destination too. The journey that started as adventure vlogging became the most profound pilgrimage of her life. How did physical travel facilitate spiritual transformation? The transformation from Canadian vlogger to Pakistani culture ambassador happened so naturally, it surprised everyone. Rosie didn't just convert to Islam. She became Pakistan's most passionate promoter to Western audiences. Her social media became a love letter to the country. She showcased its beauty, defended its people, corrected misconceptions, shared its hospitality. Her authentic enthusiasm was so contagious that thousands of Westerners reconsidered their prejudices about Pakistan. She single-handedly changed more minds about Pakistan than any government PR campaign ever could. Her conversion gave her testimonies credibility. This wasn't propaganda. This was lived experience. How did one woman on a motorcycle become such a powerful voice for an entire nation? Rosie Gabrielle's experience obliterated the Western media narrative about Pakistan and Islam. Media said Pakistan is dangerous. Rosie experienced unmatched hospitality. Media said Muslim countries oppress women. Rosie found respect and protection. Media said Islam is violent. Rosie discovered peace and love. Every stereotype was shattered. Every prejudice was challenged. Every lie was exposed. Her testimony as a Western woman carried weight that Muslim voices alone couldn't achieve. She became the bridge between misunderstood Islamic culture and misled Western audiences. The power of her story was undeniable because she had no agenda except sharing truth. What does her experience teach us about questioning mainstream narratives? From childhood, Rosie had something special that she couldn't explain, a unique connection with creation. a special relationship with God. She felt it in nature. She sensed it in quiet moments. She experienced it traveling the world, but she didn't have words for it. She didn't have a framework. She didn't have a name. Islam gave her the vocabulary for feelings she'd carried her entire life. It provided structure for intuitions she'd always trusted. It explained experiences she could never articulate. The Shahada wasn't introducing her to something new. It was naming something ancient within her soul. This realization was so profound it validated her entire spiritual journey. How many people are carrying Islam in their hearts without knowing it has a name? Everything Rosie suffered in that hardest year of her life wasn't random. It was preparation. Every challenge was positioning her. Every struggle was purifying her. Every difficulty was directing her toward this exact moment of conversion. Looking back, she could see how every painful experience was necessary for her transformation. The breakdown was actually a breakthrough. The crisis was actually clarity. The suffering was actually seeking. Islam teaches that Allah guides through both ease and hardship. Rosie's story proved this truth. Her difficulties weren't punishments. They were invitations to find the peace Islam offers. What does this teach us about the purpose of our struggles? The response from the Muslim community to Rosie's conversion was overwhelming and beautiful. Muslims worldwide celebrated her journey. Pakistani communities claimed her as their sister. Islamic organizations offered support. Muslim women sent messages of love. Scholars offered to teach her. The Ummah embraced her with warmth that made her certain she'd made the right choice. This wasn't just about accepting a religion. It was about joining a global family. The sense of belonging she felt was instantaneous and powerful. She'd traveled 50+ countries but never found a community like this. What does the Muslim response to converts teach us about Islamic brotherhood? Today, Rosie Gabriel's story stands as proof that the most important journeys aren't measured in miles, but in spiritual transformation. Her motorcycle carried her to Pakistan, but Islam carried her to her true self. The destination she thought she was seeking was actually the beginning of her real journey. Converting to Islam wasn't the end of her travels. It was the start of her most meaningful adventure. She discovered that all her previous destinations were preparing her for this ultimate destination. Her story proves that sometimes we don't find what we're looking for. We find what we needed all along. The solo female biker who conquered continents finally found what no country could give her: submission to the one who created all destinations. Her journey teaches us that when you're seeking truth with a sincere heart, Allah will guide you there, even if you're riding a motorcycle through countries you never planned to visit.